Walter and Rose were born November 22nd, 2014. And when he was born, we got the surprise that he had Down syndrome.
And we didn't know until, after delivery. We had twins, we knew that, but we didn't know that Walter had Down syndrome. And it was quite a shock, and you don't know. The first thing you do is you start Googling stuff, which is the wrong thing to do. And
Walter's gonna get blind.
they've had we were just kind of lost at first and didn't know what direction to turn and exactly what Down syndrome was. And the piece.
The UCP Center.
UCP Center.
Julie actually came. We knew Julie, and she came to see us at the hospital.
I'm gonna have to close the book.
And it was so comforting.
No, I want to read the book.
Makes me want to cry. It was so comforting.
And they answered a lot of questions that we had, and
Come on,
besides what we could find on, on the computer or Google or something like that, and it kind of helped us answer a lot of questions that we had about everything with Down syndrome, and then the help that they've given us with Walter and early intervention and stuff. It's been fantastic.
Julie came out for the first time from the UCP Center when I think Walter was about 3 months old, and did just a little evaluation, testing to see his hearing. I think was a big thing at that time, to see if he responded to noises on either side of his head, because he was 3 months old. I mean, it's a teeny tiny baby. And then we started services at that time. A speech therapist from the CP Center came, I think every 3 months when he was a baby, and PT came regularly and worked on so much. I mean, we really would have been lost without the CP Center, because we didn't really know much about, when you have typical children, you don't really, you take for granted what is typical development in a child, and you don't really have to think about it or worry about it. It just happens. But with a child with a disability, with Down syndrome, for example, he has to work really hard to make things happen. It's funny, you don't think about it because it's so exciting when he reaches a goal. It's so exciting. And with the typical child, it's just, it's just like, oh look, they walked. But with Walter, you work so hard, and he worked so hard for 2.5 years. I think he walked at 2.5 to do it, that it's like a totally different, ball game. When they would come for physical therapy, they would always tell us what to do, as far as, for example, when he was learning how to stand up, there was kind of a best way to help him get from the ground to the floor. And so, from the ground to say, a chair to stand up. And so we would work on that every time he would try to stand up. We would use their method, and so that would teach him how to do it, and eventually he didn't need us to help him. He had learned how to do it, but it takes a lot of practice, and we're really grateful to have him, but it makes it easier having support from places like the UCP Center, because it's scary. What are you doing? It's scary because we didn't know anything about Down syndrome before he was born, and
Stop, Walter, stop.
so any support that you can get from the community is always just super comforting.